Hello students. In today's class, we are going to discuss about types of graphs. This is important 5 mark question in statistics. So far, we have seen how to make distribution table. Then we seen how to make a histogram. Also, we seen how to make a frequency polygon and frequency curve. At last, we seen cumulative frequency curve. That is okay. So, this is a theory type of question in which you are going to learn the different types of graphs and how each graphs looks like and how we can apply those graphs in which type of statistics and in which type of data. So, let's see the introduction to graphs. There are various types of statistics graphs in the world, but the useful graphs are those that can convey information efficiently and effectively to the users. So even though there are different types of graphs present in the world, there are some graphs which convey the message in an effective manner and in a attractive way to the readers. Graphs are used to make the data more productive and unleash the hidden potential data. So when we use graphs, even the hidden data are expressed in a attractive way, in a very authentic manner. You can get an idea of the relationship between the data with the help of graphs. So when you draw any kind of graph, so what idea the researcher is having about a particular data that can be expressed in a way in which we can able to estimate the relationship present between the two type of data. Apart from that, it offers you the best way to represent and conveniently compare complex data sets. So even we can able to make a comparison between two different type of data, like in a class, the students' average can be expressed in the form of graphs. So we can make it separate like boys average and girls average. Between different classes also we can able to make and we can able to make a comparison. So this is about the introduction to the types of graphs. Now what are the different types of graphs we have in statistics? Totally we have 9 different types of graphs applied in the statistics. The first one is Pareto diagram, known as bar graph. The second one is pie chart, also known as circle graph. The third one is histogram. Next, dot plot. Fifth one, scatter plot. Sixth, line graph. Seventh, spline chart. Eighth, bubble chart. 10, pictographs. So these are the the common 9 types of graph used in statistics. You can add a OGI also. That is the 10th you can keep. Less than OGI, one more than OGI. Now let's see one by one in detail. Now move on to the Pareto diagram, also known as bar graph. The bar graph looks like this. There are two types of bar graph. The first bar graph is in the horizontal, it is in the vertical format. So this is vertical bar diagram. So here we are comparing the different groups data, and in each group the boys and girls data are presented in different colors. Similarly, we have a horizontal bar diagram. So different types of data are presented in a single bar graph. Between this, we are comparing a positive cases and a negative cases for a particular disease. The negative cases indicated in a red color rectangle bar, and in the blue color that was indicated the positive cases of a condition. So this is how a bar graph looks. Now let's see the description for a bar graph. Yeah. Pareto diagram. A Pareto diagram is also known as bar chart. It is the best way to represent qualitative data. All kind of qualitative data are expressed in the bar graph, particularly a categorical data like male, female, Hindu, Muslim, Christian. So, like place of residence, urban, rural, all these qualitative data, particularly categorical data, are expressed in the bar graph. This chart offers two ways to display the data. You can either represent the data horizontally or else you can represent vertically. You can use it to compare the data such as amount, okay, like amount of hemoglobin, like amount spent in particular object, particular product by a hospital, characteristic characteristic of a particular plant, particular food, or characteristic of a particular mobile phone, like that. You can take the time, different time period, how much the rate of gold is uh, there, that you can represent with a bar diagram, and the frequency, number of people present in that particular data. That frequency also you can able to use to represent in the bar graph. So this is all about bar graph. Next we move on to the pie chart, circle diagram, circle graph, that is commonly presented in most of the statistics by the researcher. So when you draw a circle graph, you need to draw a 360-degree angle, that is a circle, and this circle is divided into different pies or different slices, and each slices or pies represent a particular variable, and which explains that the larger size explains that the proportion is higher. For example, here the question is asked, what is your favorite food? The larger uh, amount of people, 30 percentage, have responded that they like banana. So 30 percentage contribute to the larger size, comparing to people answer 10 percentage that they like a peach fruit. So this is how we can see a circle graph. So what is a circle graph? It is also known as a pie chart. It is also most widely used statistical graph in the world. Statisticians commonly use these graphs to represent the data graphically. The data can be graphically represented commonly by using a pie chart. As the name suggests, these graphs look like a circular pie with a few slices. We use this type of statistics graphs to represent that qualitative data. Mostly, we are not when we have very four or five different category, then we can go for pie chart. If you have more than seven or more than eight, like that different category, don't go for pie chart. The chart will be not looking very what we can say, very good. So when the slices are very less in number, like 4 to 5, we can go for a pie chart. And it is also mainly used for qualitative data presentation. And mostly the proportion of a particular variable are presented in the form of a percentage in the numerical data. Inside that particular angle, we can write what kind of percentage the particular data is present, you can write. And the size of the slices varies on the data. Some slices might be more significant and some might be smaller. So this is about a pie chart. Then we move on to histogram, which I have explained already. Histogram looks in this format, and we are plotting two things here. When you draw histogram, the class interval will be in a continuous data, and the frequency, the number of times the particular event occurred, that is taken in the y-axis. Then you are drawing for each class interval with the corresponding frequency. We are drawing a rectangle in a continuous manner. That is a histogram. And a histogram displays the frequency distribution. Mostly to present the frequency distribution of your data, we go for a histogram. At first glance, a histogram look like a bar graph. It is looks similar to the bar graph, but there is a key difference between the bar graph and histogram. Bar graph mainly used for categorical data, and histogram commonly used in the continuous data. And another important thing, the histogram is a continuous. It looks continuous. The bar, the rectangular bar, is in a continuous way. You can see that it is in a continuous way. But in case of a bar diagram, there will be a space between one data and another data. So this is how histogram differ from bar diagram in two aspects. The first aspect, bar diagram is used mainly for categorical data, and continuous data we use histogram. And next is dot plot. A dot plot look like this. This is a form of what we can say, it is one of the form of histogram. But here, instead of making a rectangle bar, we are going for a plotting the dots. A dot plot is used to represent any data in the form of plots or a small circle. It is similar to a simplified histogram or a bar graph, as the height of the bar formed with the dots represent the numerical value of each variable. Which height, for example, the height of the particular data, particular variable is high, that indicates the frequency, which is more. When there is no dot, that means in that category there is no variable present. There is no particular data is absent. Okay, dot plots are used to represent small amount of data. It is commonly used in a data which is very few in number. For example, a dot plot can be used to collect a vaccination report of a newborn in an area. In a particular area, how many newborns are there, and whether they have taken vaccination or not, what kind of vaccination they have taken, and how many dosages they have taken. To represent that, we can go for a dot plot. The next thing is scatter plot. Scatter plot looks in this way. It is a graphical method of presenting the data with the dots. You can see that the center line is dividing two different types of data. Some data are in the higher range, some data are below average. So the data which is coming in the below the line indicates it is below the median value. So this is how a scatter plot looks. Scatter plot is also used to make between to represent the data between two different values. Like you can take the data above the line indicates the data of a variable like number of smoking cases, and data present in the below the line indicates the number of cases with hypertension. Like that you can take. It is mainly used to find out the correlation between two different variables. So a scatter plot identifies a possible relationship between the changes in two different set of variables. It provides a visual and statistical means to test the strength of a relationship between two variables. So by seeing a scattered plot, we can able to identify the relationship is in the positive side or it is in the negative side. We can able to find out the strength of the relationship, how closely the two variables are associated. You can see the diagram. In the second diagram, you can see two different types of dots are present, which are very closely present. That means the relationship is very close. Like we have health department contribution as a white dot and jurisdictional coverage in the black dot. So each dot is in very close proximity. That shows that strong relationship is present. But here, two different dots in two different color, that indicates it is scattered. It is not having a similar type of relationship. It is having a very complex type of relationship. So this is how the scatter diagram is used for presenting the relationship of two different variable. And the effective way of representing the relationship in a scatter diagram can be drawn with a fishbone diagram. You can see the fishbone diagram. The relationship which we obtain after making a scatter plot, that can be presented in the way of the fishbone diagram, cause and effect relationship. For explaining the cause and effect relationship, mostly we go for fishbone diagram. So various causes, there are different types of causes. All these causes are joining together to cause a similar effect. So that you can able to, like in India, the GDP is affected by different causes, like education, like poverty, and we have the protection, we have the sales, income tax. So different causes are responsible for a particular effect. The a line graph is also known as a line plot, similar to a dot plot. It is also called as line chart. It is a graph that uses the lines to connect individual data points. The individual data which we mark in the graphs are connected with a lines. A line graph displays a quantitative values over a specified time interval. So when you go for a line graph, the data we get, so in different point of time, what type of value was present for a particular variable. So petrol price, January, how much, and in May month it was high, or in the June it was low. Such type of data can be presented in a line graph. So most commonly used in the finance department, the line graph expresses the price range in different point of time, whether the trend is increasing or decreasing. So this is how the graph looks like. You can take two different example. For example, in red color, you are indicating your income, and in the blue color, you are indicating your expenses. So, how much income you are getting in different year, 2011, your profit, and this is your loss that you are a company, two different company, profit and loss that we are able to represent with this type of diagram, line graphs. The next thing, spline chart. Spline chart can be defined as a type of line chart which is used to plot time dependent variable. Plot time dependent variable. So the variable which is associated with the time, like the birth of a child in different uh, period, like what we can say gestational age. So that type of data, the weight, the parameters can be presented with a spline chart. The basic difference between the line and spline chart is the point on the spline chart are connected with the help of curves instead of a straight line. So in the line chart, we draw a straight line to connect the different point of data. But in spline chart, we are drawing the curves between two different points. That is a spline chart. The spline chart, how it looks like, and it will be having a more informative comparing to a line chart. You can see that spline chart looks in this way. The dots are connected in with a curves. It looks more attractive than a line chart, and it gives a more valuable information for the viewers. to understand the particular data trend. The bubble chart, also known as bubble plot, it is an extension of a scatter plot used to look at the relationship between three numerical variables. More than two numerical variables are presented in the form of a bubble chart. Each dot in a bubble chart corresponds with a single data point, and the variables values for each point are indicated by horizontal position, vertical position, and dot size. So each data are presented in these three particular aspects: the horizontal position between different time period, vertical position based on the highest and lowest, and the dot size indicate the strength of that particular variable. You can see that bubble chart looks in this way. More than two or three variables can be presented with a bubble chart. Either it can be presented in a horizontally like 10, 20, 30, so different period of time the bubbles are plotted. Vertically, the highest frequency in the top to the lower where we plot the dots, and the size of the dots varies. So in the beginning, the dots are smaller, and when the thing is increasing, the dots are getting bigger. Means what we can say, for example, within 12 months, the baby weight is increasing. That you can represent with the bubble chart. After 1 year, the baby weight will be increasing more comparing to the 6 months that you can express with the size of the dot. That is a bubble chart. The next thing is pictograph. Pictograph is a visual representation of a data employing the images or symbols. The data are explained with specific images or specific symbol. For example, male, female, the diagrams are represented to represent the males and female different animals like a dog, cat, the dog symbol, the dog picture or cat symbol or cat picture. We are representing, we are pointing there. So it depicts the frequency of your data by utilizing the relevant symbol. So we are utilizing the symbols to represent the data. Pictographs are very easy and it is a straightforward method to represent the statistical information. So most commonly we have seen the pictograph, but we may not know that is a pictograph. The pictograph looks like that. You are representing the sports, how many students are liking that particular sports. So students, you are making like you take this as a boy. If you want to you present the data of the girls also, you can draw a picture of a girl and you can count a number how many girls like swimming. So in this data, you know that tennis was mostly preferred comparing to the football. So like this, we can draw a pictograph. So we come to the end of this class. We've seen the different types of graphs used in statistics with example. In exam, you need to draw the types of graphs with diagram and explain each types and what is the uses and what are the important feature about that particular graph. I hope you understood about the types of graph. If you like this video, if you like this lecture, please like this video and comment about my lecture in this video. Thank you for watching. Meet you again in another topic. Take care. Bye bye.